Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today is day 5 of our 23 Days of Connections, and we have a very special story to share with you all. Joining us in our Mountain View headquarters is one of our customers, Tim Fellum, who connected with his sister Lori and his brothers Tony and Mike through 23andMe. They're here today to tell us about their story. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you decide to take a 23andMe test.
Well, it was my wife's idea actually at first. I always knew I had been adopted, but she had a biological family, but she just was curious about her background too. So she kind of convinced me and to do it, and we both decided to take the test, and it came back, and it's really interesting. Got a good information. I was just mostly looking for information on my health background, maybe, and some other stuff that might be related that I needed to know. So that's why we initially did it. Yeah.
Great. And what was your reaction realizing you had 3 full-blooded siblings?
Well, it was pretty shocking at first. I had a hard time wrapping my head around it at first, but it was, in the end, it was all really good news. But it just, at first, I was a step back. I couldn't really. My brother Tony had emailed me one day. It was actually a year ago yesterday, and he reached out to me, and they'd actually been looking for me for about 8 or 9 years. They knew I was out there, but I didn't have any idea they were out there. So he reached out, didn't try to scare me away. He said through an email, "Hey, this is Tony. I live in San Bruno. We may be related. So reach out to me if you'd like to get some more information, share some information." So I reached out to him, and we started talking through email first, and then it was pretty funny because the only thing I knew about my biological mother through my mother was that she said she thought she was a nurse, and that was the first thing I shared with him was, yeah, I think my biological mother was a nurse, and he came back and said, yeah, she was a nurse. And I said, well, this is kind of strange, and then we just kind of took off from there. So that's when we started corresponding.
That's great. So I guess you already answered it. How did the 3 of you connect? Was it through that email
Initially, yes.
Yeah. Our sister Lori is the one that took the 23 test on our side here, and she got the information about Tim, his name anyway, but she couldn't find him on the internet. So she's very excited about this, and probably was typing it wrong, what have you. So I typed it in, and well, there he is. So that's how we were able to locate him. And then after that, we
talked on the phone.
Talked on the phone a couple of times, and we decided that we asked Lori's permission if it was okay that 2 of us got to meet him because we're so close, and that Lori's out of state. So she said, go for it. And we met at a local restaurant and sat around for a couple hours and got to know each other, and been all good ever since.
Yeah.
Still like each other. It's only been a year. But
what was that anticipation like, before meeting each other?
So many emotions going on all at once, and you're excited and happy and
disbelief.
Yeah, it's everything all at once pretty much.
when we were driving over there together, me and Mike, I told him, I said, okay, no road rage, okay? You don't want to be honking your horn at anybody today because it might be our new brother,
Yeah.
Tony, how did you handle knowing you were no longer the big brother of the family?
Well, as I tell everybody, I may not be the oldest brother anymore, but I'm still the biggest brother, right? Height-wise, weight-wise, I got it covered. But so Lori, she called me up not long after we had connected, and siblings, you tease each other. So my sister was teasing me. She said, "How does it feel not being number 1 anymore?" I said, "Settle down, number 3." So, we're all very, very excited about it, all of us. It's fantastic. It's a blessing.
Yeah. How has your life changed since you and your siblings connected, Tim?
It's all for the better. I look at it as I've got a bigger family now. It doesn't change who I am or my parents, because they were amazing human beings. They were just fantastic parents. So I never really had any kind of inkling other than doing the 23andMe. I was trying to find out maybe some information on my past, maybe what I was genetically, and if I had any kind of history of any kind of disease, maybe heart disease or things like that. So initially, why I initially did it was for those reasons, and for this to come out of it, maybe there's a half sibling out there somewhere in the back of your mind, but to have 3 full-blooded siblings was just more than, at first, it was kind of hard to wrap your head around it, but it's all been great. We've gotten together multiple times since, and we talk all the time, and we're only an hour and a half away from each other, and that's the way we grew up, an hour and a half from each other. We didn't even know
Didn't even know it
That's
all these
incredible.
years.
Yeah. So it's all good. It's been a great experience.
What about you, Tony? How has your life changed?
Well, the Christmas shopping list has increased exponentially. It's not just, Tim. We've got a new sister-in-law. We got 3 new nephews that we didn't know about before. I mean, it's huge, and he's got a whole bunch of friends. He's a good guy, even though he's related to us. He's a really good guy, and he's got a lot of really good friends, and it's huge. It's like you're picking up a whole
Well,
new
we've
family
got
down.
our aunt, so it'd be my biological father, our father's sister lives in Monterey. Well, that's 20 minutes from my house, and her sons, our first cousins, live there too. So they're in that area, and so we see them all the time now too. And it's just like this big extended family. We've all embraced each other just immediately, and that was the coolest part of it all. Is even my kids, they just took to their first cousins immediately. It was this weird, amazing thing to see. So it's been really fun, and it's been a blessing for sure.
Anything to add, Mike?
This has all been a gift, and it has just an amazing thing to happen to all of us. A bigger family, and
Yeah,
this has all been wonderful
absolutely.
That's
to
great.
find Tim, and it's just
When we first met, he wasn't saying much at all. Tony and I were talking, and Tony would say, "Mike, you want to ask Tim something?" And he'd be like, "I'm just blown away right now. I can't really say anything." He just kept saying that over and over.
Yeah.
It was just too hard for all of us to wrap your head around. It was a
But
big.
the whole family too. I mean, we were talking about the staring. I mean, when we got around all the cousins, everybody just like staring. Because here's this new brother that we had no idea, and it's mind blowing. It's life changing.
yeah.
So where was the first meeting?
Well,
San
our
Jose?
first meeting was at a bar, but but the family was up at Mike's house day after Christmas, so it was almost a year ago. So we actually found each other a year ago. Yesterday was when he reached out to me, and then went to Mike's house the day after Christmas last year. And my kids, my wife, we all went up there and met a bunch of the family, most of the family. There's a lot of tears and good times, and everybody, like, I'd be talking in a crowd, and I'd start looking around the room, and all these people are staring at me, and I'm just like, why are they looking at me? But it's one of those things you just all of a sudden.
He stood in one place for like the longest time. He couldn't move because people were just coming up to him, asking him questions and looking at him. And I realized it's like, the poor guy doesn't have a drink in his hand or food or anything. And I had to go get him some food. The poor guy was just being bombarded by a whole bunch of people.
And we had warned him.
Family.
I mean, do you really want the whole family the day after Christmas? I mean, maybe we should get to know each other before. No, I want to meet everybody. Okay, you don't know what you're getting into, but good on you, brother.
Will you guys be spending this holiday season together?
Yeah.
We
What are
just
the
got
plans?
together. We just got together for Thanksgiving, a couple days after Thanksgiving. So we're still working on what's going on for Christmas. But,
Schedules and everything.
We,
but
Yeah.
We've been getting together ever since that first day. So we're too close to each other to not get together. And if it wasn't working out, we probably wouldn't see each other. But it's amazing what genetics will do. You hit it off immediately.
so far, so good.
So far,
Yeah.
anyway. The honeymoon's almost
Fingers
over. but
crossed.
we'll
I
see.
know, I know.
He hasn't gotten rid of us yet.
That's great, guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing your
Absolutely.
story with us.
Absolutely.
It's an incredible thing to be able to meet your brothers and your sister.
Oh, our sister's fantastic. I immediately hit it off with her. She's just an amazing person. So
Big hello
yeah.
to Lori out there.
Yeah, hey, Lori.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, well, thanks again.
Okay,
It was a pleasure to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.